How's it going, folks? Nick here with the Otto Permaculture vlog. Otto the garden cat, my co-star, is just behind me. Let's see if I can attract him over here. Come here. This is Otto. He's my co-star. Of course, most of you guys are telling me that he's the star and I'm the co-star. I understand that. Good boy. He's been very cuddly today because yesterday I was actually out on. I had a chance to actually take apart a chicken coop from one of my clients that they just were no longer going to be using. They had to give up some land, etc. So I got to take that apart and just bring the parts home for projects. So I've been pretty busy this week, so this is gonna be a quick little video, just give you an update. I did a lot of work over the weekend, so I'm just gonna share with you guys what I did over the weekend and just give you a general homestead update. So that's what we're gonna do today. Let's just go ahead and get started. Yeah, you sweet. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Finally got a decent amount of rain, so that is, let's see, 0.29 inches, just about 7.5 mils. We've actually had not a lot of rain recently, so I've actually had to do some watering, so it's really nice to see that. 1/4 inch is perfect if I'm ever not having to water for a day. You want about 1 inch a week. Generally, we usually get more than that, but that's usually the standard of what plants like, so 1 inch a week, which is about 25 mil a week. That's what they like, right? So if I'm getting 1/4 of that in a day's rain, cool. I don't have to think about watering for a day or two. Hopefully it'll just keep coming and I don't think about watering. Luckily here in the tropics, and especially where I am in the rainforest, we usually have too much rain, which can be a problem, but I'd rather have a little bit too much rain than not enough. Goes Otto onto his chair. Otto on his little throne out here. He loves to just chill on this chair while he's out and about looking around. Sometimes we'll find him out here sleeping on this chair. Other times he's licking the water off of it. Right now he's just inspecting his domain back here. Good boy. You good boy. You can see he's pretty playful this morning. He just wants to keep going. Probably mainly because I was gone all day yesterday. I left around 7:30 in the morning, got back around 6 p.m. On that salvage project I was doing. Rooster seems to be a little forgetting that I'm his master too. You see him doing his little dance? He's trying to peck at me. That's just him being tough, but watch this. If I open up the gate, walks right away. He's not trying to be part of it. Now if I try to instigate him though, he'll come over. He won't ever really attack me. He'll peck at me, but he doesn't ever like get up and attack. Ooh, you pecking? See, he just chills. He knows I'm good. But he does like to fight. Then he lets me hold him pretty easily without any ruckus, so it's like, who's really in charge here? And is he really he just likes to have a little, I'm the rooster, I'm in charge thing when I come up, because he knows when I come in he actually just runs away. Good rooster. Good rooster. It's because I'm wearing red, is that why? Are you freaking out because of the red? Grabbing the chicken feed, give you guys an update on Henry. Henry is still broody. She's probably about halfway through at this point, so we're expecting her to still be doing there, but it's really fun. This Miss Mama Henry, I see her actually get off the nest a decent amount, like not too much. She's on the nest, it's gonna be fine, no problems there, but she does like to get up at random times. The other mama, I would only really see her get up once or twice, a week or two. This one I usually see up every day, but it's just within the coop itself. She'll get up, she'll walk around, she'll stretch out, she'll do what she needs to do, but you can see her back here. Hey mama. She's making her little broody mama noises. Hi mama. Hi. She's being a good mama. You can see we got some more eggs there for harvest from the other ones. Good mama. Refill her food tray in here because then she doesn't have to leave the coop. She can feel safe and have everything she needs. I also have a water back there for her, so she has everything she needs in this coop to successfully keep living and be happy while she's broody. So that's the goal. I just want to keep her on there. And because that's the one that's usually attacked the most by the other chickens, I'm just trying to keep her within that coop as much as possible. Down at the base there, all that bottom part where the two twins down there are, everything down there, that's actually finished compost, kind of all spread out. And I'm just allowing the fungal networks to kind of grow within that before I just continue to harvest it. I have been harvesting the compost and applying it, and I'm going to share that story with you next. The cat's over here hanging out. There's a little hole in the fence there apparently. I found that out last time when he went over the fence and on to explore. So he must be over there seeing if anything's lurking in the shadows, like the lizards and such. Fun update on this papaya here. We got another papaya growing. So we got that one, and we got this one up here. Maybe this third one will start to flower and give us another one. So we got at least 2 on, so that's really exciting. We actually don't really have any. So far, we've only had, I think, maybe 1 potential female papaya back here, and that one is now the only one that I know of. So I need to figure out how to close this door. This door, you can see, I close it and it just pops back open over and over again, no matter what I do. Unless I'm on the inside. If I'm on the inside, it tends to stay closed for whatever reason. When I pull it closed, it just stays. I don't know. Anyway. All right, so last weekend I did quite a bit of work back here. There's a lot of things I need to get done. I wanted to use that compost in a productive way right when it was super fresh, very active, etc. So what I did actually was, well, first step really was my soil building area down here. You see all these kind of weeds down here, all the green stuff on there. This area, I just want to make sure it keeps on getting fresh material, because long term this is a soil building area. So as the chickens come in here and take all these weeds, they turn it, they destroy it, they eat all the seeds, they eat all the greens. And then once all that stuff kind of dies back, it's just going to be turned into soil slowly by the chickens with the help of obviously the compost that's being kind of sifted down through the fence here. As they're scratching, they throw it up against the fence and it comes out. You can see that happening right here along the 2x4 here holding the fence down. That's all just like really fresh compost. They've actually sifted it for me. It's all sitting right there. So I often use this stuff first when I just need a little bit of compost, just because it's already sifted and it's a nice little thing. But this area down here, I basically brought in a new set of big old of this goitre. It's like it's a weed here basically, or really it's just a native plant that grows that is actually edible and the chickens love. So it's just a chicken feed. So I had a whole bunch of this from our front yard, so I brought it all back here and I spread it all out. After I did that, I just harvested a little bit of compost. I usually just do it 5-gallon bucket by 5-gallon bucket, because then I can just take what I need, walk up, spread it around, harvest some more, etc. It's a little bit easier for me instead of having to carry a big old bunch of weight, especially because I have such a small homestead. It's easy to walk around. So I harvested that, and then I actually came up to this bed up here, the one that I've been saying over and over again, I need to weed, I need to, basically reset and help. It's this bed right up here. It's the bed that currently houses basically green onions and some carrots coming up, as well as some garlic chives. In the back of the bed there is turmeric. We've already harvested some turmeric from over there, but this one's probably ready for harvest. So we got a couple of turmerics in here too. But mainly what I was focusing on here was the green onions and the carrots that I have growing in here. I want to make sure they have everything they need. So if you look in here, I don't know, maybe I can get a little closer. See these green onions? These guys like pop. They're really firm. They're upright. They're happy. They're really green. These guys actually popped immediately after I added all this compost. Now, I'm going to walk you guys through the process of how I did all this, just so you get an understanding of my process. So this is when I'm tending to a garden bed that is already planted, and I just want to be adding compost, because in the tropics, you're going to be wanting to add compost every probably like 6 to 8 weeks. Not a huge amount, just a little at a time, just little by little adding compost, because every time there's so much abundant growth here in the tropics that all those weeds and everything are growing. If you're taking it out of the bed, that's carbon material and that's nutrient material that's no longer in that soil. So if you're weeding a lot, you have a big pile of weeds, you have to replace those weeds with something, in this case compost. So what I did is first of all took off the fence, because that's kind of the first step, unrolled the fence, and then I went through the bed and I just weeded all the small little stuff around the carrots, around the green onions, really carefully, making sure I'm not disturbing any of the other roots, especially around the carrots. Carrots are a little finicky. So I basically did that. I went all around the bed and cleaned up. After I cleaned up, I sat there and I actually just applied the compost. Took my time, again, nice and gently around everything that's already growing, because I didn't want to disturb it, and I just want to make sure that it has what it needs. And I also want to make sure that the compost is right up against the plants, because that can cause a little bit of root rot. So I just take my time, do it really, really slowly. After I weeded and applied the compost, the next thing I did was actually harvest some plantain leaves or banana leaves to use as mulch. But I didn't really want to lay them all flat on there like I usually would, because there's just sporadic plants growing, and I can't just lay a big old banana leaf. So what I did was actually take the banana leaves and sit there and actually rip them up into just like small little sections, like little basically more like grass parts, you know. So I sat there and did that for a while. I got a full 5-gallon bucket's worth. After I did that and ripped everything up, I went back to the bed and just mulched around everything. I also seeded carrot. I seeded more carrot throughout the bed in little spots where I had a little bit of a gap and everything. So this mulch is actually probably a little bit too thick for when you're seeding, but I just figured I'd throw the seed in there. If it came up and wanted to live, it'll live. And if it doesn't, that's okay. I can live with the production we got. We already have quite a bit of production in this bed. So yeah, pretty happy with that process. That whole process basically took me, you know, a couple hours, probably 2 to 4 hours. I can't remember exactly because I was doing a couple other things back here, but just like over time. So that's why I try to do bed by bed, little by little, because it can get overwhelming when you're trying to do every single bed in one day. So I just chose to do one bed, get this one nice and pretty, nice and prepped, and composted, etc. The next day, I wanted to continue using that compost because, again, I have active compost. I want to make sure I use that. So what I did is actually create a compost tea or compost extract. Compost tea and compost extract are separate things. That's something that's important to be aware of. Compost tea is where you actually take compost, you suspend it into a water mixture, and then you add foods, and then you add an aeration cycle for usually about 24 hours. And what that does is it breeds all those microorganisms with all the feed you put in there. Basically, you're feeding the bacteria and the fungi. You can use like fish emulsate or molasses for the bacteria. The fungi love humic acid, so you can put a little humic acid in there for the fungi. And once that's brewed, all the bacteria create a lot of glues. Bacteria naturally create glues to help them stick to soil surfaces, plant surfaces, etc. So all those bacteria create a really sticky substance, and you take that compost tea and you spray it on the leaves and onto the plant. So it's a foliar spray. It's not meant to go on the ground. It's meant to go actually on the plant itself, on the plant tissues. That's a compost tea. Compost extract, you basically skip the step of the brewing. So what you do is you take fresh compost, you fill up a bucket with nice, clean, non-chlorinated water, ideally room temperature, a little bit above. You don't really want it super cold, but whatever you got, it'll end up working. And then you take a compost, you add that into a compost tea bag, and you can have small, big chunks in there. Once it's in the tea bag, nothing's really going to escape. I try to take out the big chunks, but it doesn't really matter. And then you just massage that tea bag, not really hard, just a nice soft massage throughout the water there. What you're trying to do is extract all of the microorganisms from the compost into that water. So you're basically trying to create like a solution of the organisms within that water. And then once you have that, once you finish that, you only have to massage for about 30 seconds, and then once you have that, you can actually apply it directly to your soil. So that's what I did. I actually did that for all the gardens, or at least all these upper gardens up here. I applied compost extract throughout. But especially for the garden we were just working on with the green onions and the carrots, I started with that one just to kind of finish the process. And I just took my 5-gallon bucket and a small little scooper, and I just slowly spread that out throughout everything. Gave it a nice water in. It helps water the compost in there too. So it's really just kind of making the soil super happy. It's also making the soil have plenty of microorganisms to help nutrient cycling happen in the soil. That's the key. It's the biology that makes the nutrient cycling happen in your soil to make sure that your plants have all the nutrients they need to actually succeed in their tasks of producing high quality food for you and your family and anyone else who's eating it from you. The other thing I did this past weekend was add a fence to this little bed because the little cilantro babies are starting to come up in this bed here. You can see them all through here. Let me take a look at this fence here. Look at that. Nice cilantro babies starting to come up. So I don't want this bed to be disturbed at all. I want to make sure that I get this. I did add compost this bed and compost extract, all that. So you can actually see that the eggplants, since adding that, they've had 2 or 3 brand new leaves come up, and that was only about a week ago, or less than a week, probably like 5 or 6 days ago. So these guys really responded well. Pretty much everything responded well, and always responds well to compost extract, compost applications in general, just adding compost to the soil, but also that compost extract really helps. Otto's, as you can see, enjoying the time in the grass. He's a very playful cat, especially in the grass here. He loves his grass. Even though it's wet, we just got about, you saw how much rain we got. This grass is wet, but you can see he doesn't mind playing in the grass at all. He usually comes into the house soaking wet. I need to towel dry him off. It's the weirdest cat ever, but hilarious cat. We love him so much. Oh yeah, one more thing I wanted to share with you guys. It's kind of cool. I kind of forgot about this, honestly, until I saw it coming up. Right here, we have a prickly pear cactus, a little brand new one coming up. So what I did is I had a one pad of, I think they call these pads, but whatever they call them. This is a prickly pear cactus. And I forget, there's a couple of other names for it, but I can't remember what they are. But this guy, it's basically a cactus. It produces a nice fruit, an edible fruit, and you can eat this part right here, and I believe it also produces an edible fruit. I could be wrong about that second part. I know that this part's edible, so that's what we're growing it for. But you can see there, I dug this in. I stuck it about a quarter of the way into the soil there. I just used my shovel to open up a little slit and put it in there, and then it started rooting and growing roots down. And you can see now it's producing a little baby. So this guy will start growing up and start becoming the prickly pear that's going to occupy this space. Should be a nice little spot for it way up here. I also wanted to show that after I add compost and everything to this, check out this dill plant. It just took off. It was a tiny little baby. It was looking like maybe it won't actually take or anything, but it has really kind of boomed ever since we added that compost and compost extract. Same here. I actually did seed, I believe this right here is radish probably. I did seed some radish throughout here too, just to have another little bit of a crop, and I also seeded some more dill throughout there too, just to add to this little spot here. We are getting the second generation of zinnias. That one obviously looks kind of ugly because of the rain. It's starting to degrade, but we are getting some second generation zinnias coming up in here, so that's pretty cool. As you can see, the cat's just chilling, waiting for my next move. All right, folks, I think that's going to be it for today. I think it's a short one. I never really know. I just start talking and it ends up being some length. So but I do think this is going to be a short one. That's kind of my goal for today. Keep it short for you guys and just show you what's going on and a little bit of updates. So thank you so much for being part of my community and watching these videos. If you do want help, you can subscribe to this channel or share videos that you like or might find helpful to another community with those communities. Just getting those videos out there, that helps me get more eyes on the content, and then hopefully more people watching, and in the long run more subscribers and a good community here. If I can do this semi full-time for you guys, I will do that. But right now I'm working on top of doing this, so I'm just trying to do this in my little side gig, trying to help you guys out and share my journey along with you guys, so you can hopefully not make the mistakes I'm making, or at least learn a little bit from what I'm doing to apply those techniques to your property, especially if you're living in the tropics. A lot of what I'm talking about is applicable pretty much anywhere, just a general permaculture design thinking, but a lot of the specific techniques I'm using here really applicable for the tropics. So if you are in the temperate climate or an arid climate, you might want to be second guessing whether you want to apply the exact same techniques I'm applying here, but the big foundational, big picture things, those things all apply pretty much anywhere in the world. So think about that. Hope you guys enjoyed, and until next time, have a good one.